Why isn't Topps being more aggressive in perhaps releasing a press statement? Hello and welcome, my collecting friends. Victor, the rookie card specialist, here, coming at you with another episode as we discuss Topps Series 2 today. What do we do here on this channel? It's all about the rookie card. We look at its past and present day status, all in an effort to better understand this hobby icon. Well, today I'm going to be looking at Topps Series 2 in a segment that I basically call Hobby News. And we will discuss the ins and outs of that series. And then I'm going to just close by giving you a little bit of my, opinion. And I guess I had a comment, and I very rarely, most of the time, I get extremely supportive content. And let's just say 99% of the time I do. Well, I got a pretty nasty comment this past week of a guy. I guess he was very upset of what I said. And it was a video that I produced maybe a month or two ago, but he was very upset about it. And he basically wanted to say that all of this is my opinion. Well, and I had to reassure him that this is a platform that allows me to give my opinion. So yes, indeed, these are my opinions. I do have the legal right to share my opinion on the platform of my choice. And that is one of the great freedoms that we have in this great nation of ours as we come off of Memorial Day weekend. Thank you to all those who have served. I did not serve, but I am a father. My father was in Vietnam War, and I was raised by a military dad. And so I do carry a lot of the attributes, so they say. So other than that, having a great week. I hope you are too. As we dig into Topps Series 2, I'm going to start with, the checklist that was released. Apparently, Topps is going to be releasing Series 2 on June 8th, which is right around the corner. And the checklist was posted on Cardboard Connections, and great resource, Cardboard Connection. But I question, why is it that these checklists are released on Cardboard Connection? And why them? Why doesn't Topps release their own checklist on their own website and their own platforms? Why do they hand that off to secondary resources to post? That kind of confuses me. And not that I am questioning the legitimacy of Cardboard Connections checklist, but I am asking why. And so I know it's basically because that's what we always do, but I guess that's never questioned. But I'm starting to question that myself. But I have two issues with Topps Series 2 right out of the gate. And the first one is that they gave a second Wander Franco, let me do it this way, rookie card. And so that got me to really, get me to shake my head. Now, this is just what I see on the Cardboard Connections checklist. I don't know if it's perhaps a inaction card. I know that Cardboard Connection, they gave the card number, his name, and they put an RC next to it. So that's a little disheartening, only because, tradition, a long time hobby standard says that if a player has two or more cards featured in the set, then the first card gets the rookie card designation. Now that doesn't happen always, but the majority of the time, that's the standard that we have used for decades. Now, I understand that manufacturers here, specifically speaking of Topps, they do not follow hobby guidelines. And my proposal is is that they should, or that they need to. And, the rookie card is one thing that has evolved. The guidelines have evolved, but it's been a very long time since the rookie card guidelines have been updated. And I am trying my darndest to make an impact at that level. It's very hard to get a hold of certain people. It's very hard to be heard. And the second issue that I have is that the checklist does not depict certain players that had opening day debuts. We have players, Bobby Witt Jr., Seiya Suzuki for the Chicago Cubs. These guys started playing their Major League Baseball careers on opening day and are still playing today, having fantastic seasons, by the way. But in Top Series 2, they did not include a handful of players that we were expecting to see, especially the ones that were featured on opening day. And so that's where we're at. That's the issues. That's the rub that the hobby is having. And the problem with this is that the hobby is left to speculate. And here are some of the speculations that are going around. Of course, we lean on the excuse that we've been leaning on for over a year now, and that is, logistics, a lack of printing paper, a lack of materials to print certain things and do the job. And so maybe that's the issue. We don't know because there's no explanation. I seem to think that maybe the lockout had something to do with this. Maybe the lockout really delayed everything, and the checklist was needed to get put in. I'm just trying to justify and trying to understand and try to figure it out in my head and speculate. Why did they do this? So maybe the lockout had something to do with it. Or I'm thinking maybe they'll just do something very similar that they typically like to do, and that is in image variants. And we don't know because the product hasn't released yet, but come next week this time, we will more than likely bust open packs and we'll be able to see what's been sprinkled in there. I'm assuming that they'll lean towards image variants, and kind of like they did with Acuna and Gleyber Torres in 2018. Now, the Players Association in 2005, when they gave their press release, the Evan Kaplan, who was the director of baseball cards for the Players Association, he was the legal authority for the Players Association, and he's the guy who spearheaded the press conference at that time. But in his statements, he gave this statement: in baseball, as in other sports, a player's rookie card should only be produced in the season in which he reaches the major leagues for the first time. That's the issue. Tops. This is the issue that the hobby is currently having. You're doing it with Wander Franco. Wander Franco, his major league debut was in 2021. And you want to print rookie cards in 2022. And now you're doing the same thing with a handful of other rookies this year. But I'm going to read to you exactly what the legal authority said on the topic. In baseball, as in other sports, a player's rookie card should only be produced in the season in which he reaches the major leagues for the first time, says PA's Evan Kaplan. This is where you're missing the boat. This is where, if you look at its very definition, I don't care what dictionary you go to dictionary.com, go to Wikipedia, go to any dictionary you want to use, any resource you want to use, and look up the definition of rookie card. You know what the definition is going to be? exactly what I just read to you. I even put it in the 10 commandments of the rookie card. What do I do with that? Let me look for it. Commandment number 2, a rookie card can only be released after a player has made a pro level roster. You have a handful of ball players who have made a pro level roster, and you are not including them into the base set of the current year. Nolan Gorman, Adley Rutschman, these guys debuted in May. You know they're going to get 130 at bats. You know they're going to play in 45 Major League Baseball games. But you're choosing not to include them in the year in which they debuted in the MLB. It's wrong. You're wrong. But it's a gray area, right? It's an area where you have found a loophole. And so now there's shenanigans being played. And here's the thing. Here is my biggest contention. I speak of last week in my previous video, I spoke about filing grievances and the rules of conduct for a union environment. And what we're dealing with here is a union environment. We have the Players Association union and the agreement made with the industry. And so here's my biggest contention is that collectors, the hobby, we have no representation. We have nobody sitting at the table with you when those decisions are made that represent the hobby. Maybe you do, but we don't know who that is because everything is on the down low. The hobby is on a need to know basis. And that's the issue. Why do we not have representation? Why do we not have a process? All we have then is social media. And I'm sure you got to be tired of hearing the comments and hearing the bickering and the complaining. But if we had an organization that had the hobby's best interest at heart, an organization that sits at the table when these types of things are being done, people that can represent the hobby well. And this is where we're lacking. This is an issue. In the past, Beckett Publications was that representation. Beckett Publications were the one communicating to the industry, and the industry was reporting back to us. The Beckett Publications was the one creating some form of guidelines, some sort of ordinance in the chaos. But even Beckett Publications today no longer represents the hobby. Beckett Publication has taken the same route as the industry, and that is we are on a need-to-know basis, and there's no representation. So this is my heart's cry. We are just going to have to see how this all unfolds. If we're going to have image variants, if we're going to have maybe this checklist at Cardboard Connections is going to be wrong. Maybe it's going to be different once the product comes out. I don't know. Where does Cardboard Connection get their sources? Do they get it from Topps? If so, why doesn't Topps send it to everybody? Why is that such a secret? Why is it just a certain person or certain organization gets that information? Why don't they make it public? Why doesn't Topps have a public relations department? Maybe they do. I don't know. Do you? If you do, put a comment down below. I heard that, I hear these things that Well, Topps, they released a statement. Where are these statements? I've researched issues from the past, and they say, oh, well, Topps released a statement on that explaining. Okay, where's that at? Because I have devoured the internet in and out, and I don't see any Topps press release or Topps uh, uh, article explaining the miscues and the mishaps. So where is there like a special email list that you got to get this information from? Well, they sent an email. Okay, I want to be on that email list. So how do we make that happen? Why is it that when there's an uproar like this, why isn't Topps being more aggressive in perhaps releasing a press statement? Why isn't there a blog in their website that can show you previous press releases, previous statements released by Topps, so that we have a resource where we can verify in the event that we have a question? No, they might release a press release, but they take it down immediately thereafter. So that way there's no electronic fingerprint of what's going on, because I have looked. So I'm not making an accusation based on nothing. I have looked, and I can't find anything that gives us some type of recourse, some type of outlet where we can verify certain things. Topps, speak to us. I'm sure we might complain, but once it settles, we'll be okay with it. But we continue to be left in the dark. We continue to be treated as a need to know basis, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating. Well, hey guys, listen, that's going to be all for this one. I want to say thank you to all of those who voted for the Baseball Card Hall of Fame. The ballot was closed last night on Friday at 11:59 p.m. And stay tuned on Monday. We will be releasing the results of that ballot, so stay tuned for that. I'm excited about it. And with that said, listen, I'm going to leave you, let's just say, to your left, I'm going to leave you the video explaining the Baseball Card Hall of Fame, and the video to your right, let's just say, I'm going to call it the What is Good Sports Card Hobby Content. I'll leave you links to that here at the end. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next one.